What's up, y'all? Welcome to Furey Talks. I am your host, Seth Furey. So dating can be hard, as we all know, especially when the selection of people we have to choose from have the mindset of some of the individuals we're going to speak of today. So we're going to cover some of these topics. Some of them might even be triggering, but we're going to dive right in. Allow me to introduce my two guests, my man, Christoper.
My guy.
How you doing, my brother? And Aaron. Now, you guys already know these fools. You see them all the time, but now they're together for the first time, and we're going to talk. Like we do every day in the gym. These are my main dogs, so it's good to have y'all here.
The gang's all here.
How y'all feeling?
I'm good, man.
Okay.
I'm ready to get into this.
You ready to get into this? Okay.
I'm ready to dive straight in.
This topic, I needed to do this topic because I felt something heavy on my heart when you sent it to me first in a DM.
Yeah, I think I did.
And I remember I was driving and I was like, I wanted to swerve the car. I was so upset by what I heard. I was like, yo, the fact that people actually think this way, it was so bold and just the audacity of it all. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have no idea what we're talking about. So I'm going to play this clip for you guys. And then afterwards, we're going to give our take on how we feel and what we think about it. Let's roll.
So I had a guy get me a Benz before and put me in a loft space and, set my whole life up differently than what it was normally. And I feel like if you brought me to like this level, and then we didn't work out, but we're still friends, we didn't have beef and no one cheated. It was just didn't work out. But I wasn't going to move from my space because it didn't work out. I wasn't going to give him back my car because I'm not going to downgrade my lifestyle because me and you are no longer together. And I just feel like if you put me in this space and that was under your budget then, what's the difference now? You know what I mean?
You were my girlfriend. I was fucking you.
Yeah, but I was fucking you. I just feel, but I personally feel like, no, I'm not moving.
But see, what he did was this, though. He gave you the upgrade, but part of that upgrade is because you're with me.
Yes.
You understand? So let me just go, though. So we didn't work out, me and you dating. You feel me? So I'm supposed to keep paying your loft and keep paying your Benz. Now, I get it. You're a true boss if you do that, and that's the vibe we're getting. But Jazz,
no, it's just I'm not moving, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
If you want to stay upgraded, stay with me. If not, go see what's out there.
Oh, so then if that's the case, you want me to stay with you for these items and use you basically?
Not for them. If you want to live like this, it comes with being with me.
Okay. So then you would prefer a woman to just stay with you for her items and her lifestyle. My lifestyle is now contingent. My current new lifestyle that you upgraded me to is now contingent on me being in a relationship with you, and that's the only way I can have it in this moment. Then what stops me from just staying with you for that?
Then Jazz, you want him to keep your lifestyle up, keep paying your bills, keep you on that same upgraded level. No, you were dating a man that had money, so dating him came with a lifestyle. But if we're not working and our love is dead, I don't owe you to keep paying your car note and your mortgage. I'm not entitled to. Now, if I'm that rich, then okay. But realistically, that isn't really my job. You should find you a man like me and upgrade to him and keep your lifestyle.
But that takes time. So I just feel like if someone had me on a certain pedestal, you're not just because we no longer working, you're not just gonna rip the pedestal from me. Or I'm gonna feel a type of way and just as petty and ruin them things. I'm gonna ruin the car, I'm gonna trash the house.
Sponsor you until you move on.
Not until I move on, but give me,
until I need more time.
All right, we're back. So Chris, I'm gonna start with you, man. What you think about this woman?
Very interesting woman.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to have dated someone.
Yep.
He provided her a lifestyle. They broke up. She wanted to keep the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Takes a certain man.
Yeah.
To be able to have the mentality to put up with that.
Mm-hmm. I think it takes a certain mentality of a woman to think that she actually is entitled to that. As hard as we work, or whoever is the breadwinner in that particular relationship, guy or girl, for you to think that just because you laid down and we're our girl in that moment that we owe you a lifestyle moving on. Whoever I come into next is going to be my girl. That's who's going to get that lifestyle. Well, you don't get to keep it once you're gone.
Listen, in full transparency, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I need a little backstory. Okay, so was she living with her friends and he comes along and he's like, yo, I'm gonna move you into this place. I want you to have your own place so I can come over whenever I want. Mm-hmm. Whatever the situation is, if he took her from where she was, where she was comfortable, and elevated her to a certain level, and it doesn't work out. Now, we don't know how long the agreement was. Was it through the lease? Was it through a year?
Yeah.
Let me get back on my feet before, you stop paying it. Okay. We don't know the whole backstory.
Okay.
But I could see if you take someone out of their comfort zone for yourself, And she said they didn't end. No one cheated. It wasn't like a bad breakup.
Yeah.
They're still friends. So me in that situation, if I bonded with a female, I took her from a certain place, leveled her up, and we're still cool, I'm not going to let her die.
What are your thoughts?
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I can see your point, and I agree with that.
Okay.
However, I'm just like, yo, all I'm hearing is, hey, you elevated me to this standard, and now it's over, and now you got to keep doing these boyfriend-like, gestures.
Yeah.
And the
But I'm not giving you anything in return at this
I'm not
point.
giving you, because if that's the case, I'm just saying, if we just gonna talk amongst us,
Yeah.
if a woman happens to break up with me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yo, that was really good, and until I can find some more elevated pussy, you got to continuously keep giving me this because I can't go backwards.
Okay.
So I got to keep getting this until I can finally, wing off of it.
Okay. So
You know what I mean? It's like
Okay.
it's the same. Money and
Yeah.
it goes hand in hand.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
Okay, if you're still friends,
Yeah.
right? She said they're still friends.
Yeah.
Okay, could you be friends with someone that you see? Okay, we're done. Get out of my house.
Yep.
I don't care if you're homeless. Leave now.
Yeah. Could I do that?
No, you're gonna call the next day. Yo, what's up? How you doing? Just checking on you. After you just basically threw her to the street.
But see, no one's saying you have to throw her to the street. She also is talking about cars. It's not just a living situation. She's talking about a nice car that you have to continuously keep paying on while we're not together. So here's the deal. I've dated women that were more successful than me at the time. And when we break up, that's it. I don't get to just expect those same gifts and that same treatment that I had while I was with her. That was her mansion. That was her car. That was her life that she worked to have. I was just along for the ride. Now, if she was smart, she would have maybe tried to pick off at him and be like, hey, how can I get some money for myself? So if we do ever break up, I have something to do on my own. Don't just get comfortable and act like this is your life. This ain't your life. That's his life.
Was she paying your bills?
No, she wasn't paying my bills.
Did she move you into a new place?
But here's the thing, bro. No, she didn't move me into... Did they live together or was it her own place?
It was her own place.
Okay.
I'm assuming. I mean...
So here's the thing. Because you said, in your life, you said you've done that before, right?
I have.
Now, here's the deal. If it was a lease, and you're right, when it comes to somebody being homeless, you may not want to put them out on the street, right? Immediately. But I want to go ahead and look at the part in which she said, if you do try to kick me out, I'm going to jack this place up. I'm going to mess up the apartment. I'm going to fuck up the car.
Well, listen,
so you think that's somebody that you want to look out for with that mentality?
Again, I'm not condoning her behavior.
Okay.
I'm saying in certain situations, if you end amicably, right? No cheating, no nothing. You guys are still friends. And you have taken this person out of their normal lifestyle.
Okay.
She also made a mention that it's going to be his credit that's fucked up. So that gives me the assumption.
Don't care.
But that gives me the assumption that the lease is in his name.
Yeah.
He's going to have to pay it regardless. Me personally, when I was in a situation similar to this, I had my own place.
Yep.
She had a place. I paid for her place.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to, if I got to pay it regardless, what am I going to do? Be petty? You got to get out. I'm going to have an empty place I'm paying for?
No, I would either talk to the landlord and be like, listen, I want to terminate my lease early. Is it possible? I'm going to give you 30 days like a landlord would. I wouldn't say get out in the street tomorrow, but I will say, listen, this relationship is over. I'm not going to continuously pay this, especially if it's a luxury spot, which obviously it sounds like because he elevated her.
Now, time out. There's one more key to this story.
Okay.
If she's fucking with someone else, if we break up and now she's talking to someone, good night.
Okay, so that's when it ends.
It's over.
Okay, so but it's okay for you to move on. How do you think the girl's gonna feel that you move on with that you're still paying your ex's lifestyle, car, apartment?
Well, me personally, I don't like to jump from relationship to relationship.
Okay, but hypothetically, imagine that. Let's just say, because she thinks her life gets to continue on. I think that's the most crazy thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, yo.
I think a woman will respect you for having the wherewithal to pull through, continue out your responsibility that you made. Okay. Not go above and beyond. Okay, the lease is up. It's not like, okay, you want to renew the lease? I'll pay another year. No, it's not that. You finish out what you started.
Okay, I'm gonna give you.
No, so I agree with that. The only thing is just the way she came off was like, okay, you took me from here to there. I'm not going anywhere. You are obligated to sustain.
That's what it was.
This.
It was the energy in which
Yeah.
she was entitled to it.
Yeah.
That's the part that changed it. It wasn't like she was like, baby, listen, I know it's not working out, or not baby, whatever you want to call it. Now y'all just friends. Do you think I can have a little bit of time? And let's say you really thoroughly enjoy her as a person and it just didn't work out. Okay, cool. Maybe she's planning something. She needs a little bit of time to get on her feet.
And that's cool.
Different.
And
that's
cool.
Maybe what you're describing.
Yeah.
This girl.
No, she was like, yo.
Oh my God.
She was like, hey, I was here. You elevated me to this place, this car, this lifestyle. Regardless of what you going through, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to keep doing this until I find somebody else.
And if you don't do that, I'm going to mess this place up. So
okay,
that's the part that just killed me.
What?
Guys, let's be real, okay?
Okay.
The conversation she had with him
Yeah.
and the conversation she had on cameras, 2 different conversations.
Facts.
I guarantee you. It wasn't, oh, you gave me this, I'm staying here regardless, no matter what. No. She was a little animated because she was on the podcast and she was doing that show. She wanted to seem like the boss bitch, and I made him pay for this. I guarantee you, when it was time to talk about that, so what are we doing?
Yeah.
She was a lot more humble.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say you got her a car. Let's say a Bentley, right? You got it for her birthday, whatever the case may be, and you did not buy that car. You leased that car. So you don't even own that car, the bank owns the car.
Correct.
Y'all break up. And you have a malicious girl that has said to you, if you don't let me keep this, I'm going to jack it up. So now, not only is your credit going to be messed up, but you have a big liability that is in the hands of a crazy woman that knows when you go to take it back, and she's unsatisfied with how soon you took it back, she might just damage it.
Know what you
now
do?
you're stuck. So now you need to repossess that joint yourself in the middle of the night and catch her off guard because you're dealing with a crazy person. I don't want someone like that riding around in a $500,000 car of mine, knowing that she has 0 ties to it or responsibilities. That's crazy. And I wouldn't think that I have to pay off. Listen, I'm bringing it back to the car dealership. It's no longer my car. It was never my car, technically.
And
it sure as heck ain't your car because I didn't pay it off to give to you.
Let's address that.
Okay.
Okay. I've had that happen to myself.
Which scenario?
So when I was younger, I never had cars in my name, right? So I would get my cars in a girl's name. The girl put it in her name. You know, I'm riding through the city clean. 18 S500 on 20s, killing it.
Yeah.
Y'all can check too. It's all factual.
I believe it.
She called me over to the house one day.
Yeah.
She's like, "We want to just have a talk because we had broke up." Before I left, she's like, "Hey, by the way, leave the keys to that car. It's in my name, right?"
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. I had to respect it, so she took that car back. At the time, I ended up getting another girlfriend. She's like, "You know what, baby? Don't worry about it. I'll put a car for you in my name." I'm like, "Bet, say less." Boom.
That's what she said to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go down a week later, get the new Escalade. I'm back, ride through the streets. Her and I break up. I come out the house one day, car's gone. Like, damn, somebody stole my car.
Oh wow.
Tripping. I call her. I'm like, yo, somebody stole the car. You got to file. She's like, no, I got the car. I took it back. So I say that to say, girls act maliciously in a breakup.
But I'm gonna say this.
But for me,
yeah,
if I leased a Bentley for a girl and we broke up, I would go to bed around 9 o'clock with a clear mind. And when I wake up in the morning, that motherfucking Bentley be right in my driveway because I'm repoing that shit.
Because you paid for it.
Immediately.
But here's the difference. What you just described is messed up because you were paying those bills, not her. The difference is if you bought a girl a car, you're paying the bills and it's not your car. You're right. You should get it back. If she was paying the car note on your car and wanted to take it back, why not? She paid all that money. You basically threw all that money away.
So wait, time out.
Right,
let me ask you.
Go for it.
Let me turn it around on both of you.
Yeah.
If you put the car in your name, because she didn't have the credit, you're responsible. You got great credit.
Yeah.
And she's paying the bill, and y'all break up. You're letting her keep the car.
If it's under mine, well, see, that would depend because if I wanted to get a new car and my credit is now held up because I have an
you don't need a
expensive
new car.
That's just okay. So if she had, it's a lease or a finance.
It's a lease.
It's gonna go back anyway. So if it was a finance and she was eventually going to own that car, like maybe like a year later, I'd let her just keep paying it off. At that point, she paid everything up until that point. Why am I gonna go? I mean, I'm only gonna mess my credit up anyway if I take it back. So let her pay it off, and then cool. If we're still on good terms. Otherwise, if it's just a lease, that joint's going back.
What about you, Aaron?
I mean, we're gonna have a conversation, and that conversation gonna sound something like, okay, my new relationship or whoever it may be, I need to have a clean slate. So we can't have these type of financial ties together.
That's another
So respect for the new girl. What I think is best is maybe we should move this car into your name. And if you cannot afford it, then it's best that we send back to the dealership and you go your way and I go mine.
That's very true.
In respect to your new relationship and where I'm about to be headed.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I would
you give her the
not wanna date a
opportunity
girl.
to put the car into her name.
I can only imagine what that's gonna look like when she meets a new dude. She's driving a Bentley. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, whose car is this? Oh, my ex."
Yeah.
That's setting a different tone.
Yeah.
That new dude has no respect for technically your property.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dudes as is don't have respect for your girl.
He's gonna be stepping on.
Oh, he's gonna be doing. Oh yeah.
He's gonna be riding down Sunset.
Oh,
and your whip chilling.
That Bentley B gonna be so far gone.
Yeah.
And he has. I mean, that's just the nature of men. Like we're territorial, we're alphas, so it's like, this is mine now. Cool. This is how I'm going. I don't have no ties to this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to disrespect it. Not to say I would necessarily do that, but I can imagine that's probably what it would look like.
Okay, so now going along with some of the difficulties of dating, I want to talk about something that I think is very crucial that needs to be discussed. Okay, let's just say you get a girl and you're into her. This is new. You're feeling the vibes, and she wants to go on a double date, and you say yes against your better judgment because you're like, double dates can sometimes be intimidating. Okay, because it's like now you're being put around other people when, to me personally, I like to spend a little bit more time getting to know myself, making sure we solidify something good before I start bringing in outside people. But what do you think of some of the, how do you make a successful double date? What are some things that you should do to the person that's being brought into the situation? That makes sense? Let's just say it's you and two of your homies, like girl, guy, and you bring this new girl. What is something you would do on that double date to make sure that she had a good time, that she was comfortable?
Me personally, I would direct my attention towards her more so than the whole group. I would include her in group conversations because she doesn't know my friends, and I want her to get comfortable with them. But me personally, I wouldn't bring a girl in on a double date with people she doesn't know.
Okay. So what would be the double date? You would want her to bring her friend?
I mean,
or just like two complete different people that need like.
I don't see double dating when you're first starting a date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To answer your question, I wouldn't bring her in with my friends.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want her to bring me in with her friends.
Yeah.
But if I was forced into the situation or vice versa, it would be something where you have to allow her to get comfortable with whoever you're bringing her with.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be awkward off the bat because they don't know her. You don't really know her. She doesn't really know you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, to me, it's a weird situation.
From the jump.
I'm not a big fan of double dates.
Yeah.
But when it does happen, I feel that it can't be like we all know each other and the person I'm bringing is just like the outsider.
Yeah.
Because then we're constantly going to have this connection that she's going to feel like, hey, I don't know what they're talking about. Now, I can do a double date. Like if I meet a girl and she's like, hey, my homegirl's single, your boy's single.
Yeah.
And obviously...
Oh, because now there's two people that are outsiders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you have the same type of dynamic. But if I'm with my girl and then I'm bringing my boy and we've all done hung out before, and she's like, hey, bring your girl.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little awkward because now we all done hung out. We all have that, that bond, that connection. And now you're like the outsider.
So I went on this double date with this girl. Now, it was supposed to just be our night. We were actually already had plans for the two of us to go out, but she threw it at me last second. Hey, do you mind making it a double date? I didn't want to say no because I didn't want to be that guy that was a party pooper. So I said, sure. I was a little on the edge about it, and I had a good reason to, right? Now, as we're driving to the date, she starts to tell me that the person that we're going on a double date with is not only one of her girlfriends. Fine. You see what I'm saying?
You're on a double date.
Well, we're driving to the double date.
And
she tells me in that moment that's who we're going to be meeting.
Her ex-boyfriend's brother.
And her friend, right? So then I asked her, okay, well, how'd they meet? And she was like, oh, I introduced them, a couple months off, however long back. It wasn't that long ago.
On a double date.
whatever the case is. And I was like, oh, now he lived out of town. So he came basically from out of state to meet her. And I was like, oh, so your ex-boyfriend's brother, like y'all are cool like that to where he will travel from out of state to come visit you? She's like, oh no, he came with his brother. I'm like, that's the boyfriend. So I'm like, okay, so you guys are still kind of in contact with each other. So I didn't want to make a big deal about it because we're heading to a date. I'm trying to keep my spirits up, but I can't lie. It definitely hit me with a little something like I didn't realize y'all was still in contact with each other at all. Like I'm thinking y'all hadn't spoken in like a year or so. You know what I mean? That's not too long ago. Whatever, Seth. You can do this, right? We get to the date. Energy is completely off. I have no friggin' clue why. I'm sitting at this table, 3 people. Nobody's talking to me. Nobody's bringing me into the conversation. They have these little inside jokes amongst themselves that only they can laugh at. I must have read that menu 10 friggin' times because I didn't have nothing else to do. I'm reading it top to bottom, and I'm like, at some point, someone's gonna bring me in a conversation and make me feel included. So then I started thinking about the time when I brought her around my friends and how different it was. Like I had them, that she was laughing. We were playing games. It was very interactive. My friends, y'all know how to make someone feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all will go out of your way to make sure she feels special and wanted. I got none of that. And I just kept thinking like, this is so awkward. Like why would she bring me on a double date and then make me feel like I'm not
I can tell you why she brought you.
Okay, tell me why you think she brought me.
So
on that particular date.
So the fact that it's her ex-boyfriend's brother, it's still pretty fresh. You can already say that the breakup is fresh and he's still somewhat in the picture. And I think that she would probably still wanted him. He probably was doing his thing. Yeah. And it was her way to flex, to show like, yo, look, I'm over your brother and look who I brought with me. Yeah. And I think that was an opportunity for her to either completely break it off, or in that moment, the brother was going to go back like, yo, she brought this other dude that swagged out and blah, blah, blah. Exactly. He's this, and this. Because I'm sure you guys talked about what you do for, for work and all that good stuff. So now he probably did his research, probably sent his brother a text as you guys were sitting there chilling. And that's when it got awkward.
Well, here's the thing. Her ex already knew about me. Because apparently he was on my Instagram page or something like that from way, way back. Because when I first met her, I didn't realize they were still talking. Yeah. So I had proceeded to try to take her out. And he got wind of that. Maybe he found a text message. We never actually hung out. So, but he had enough information to look me up and know who I was. He made her unfollow me. So he knew who I was. You see what I mean? Now I'm on a double date with her little brother, his little brother. That particular night, everything in that relationship that was good changed. And I had no freaking clue why. It was like, you ever just be so lost and confused? You're trying to like backpedal every little thing that went through that night. And you're like, what the hell went wrong? Like I couldn't figure it out. And you start thinking you're crazy. You're like, nah. Like maybe I did something. I must have done something. You know what I mean? Fast forward, about a month or so later, who do I see her hanging out with on a date?
Her ex.
Her ex. So it was obvious that I wasn't, no. What?
The brother?
No, the ex, the actual boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
They probably even got back together. I have no clue. Yeah. But it's just a slap in my face because it's like, yo, I went into this relationship thinking that we actually, or this potential relationship, thinking it had the potential to grow. Yeah. Like we were actually moving somewhere. When in actuality, your heart and your mind was still there. And that double date was an exact demonstration of that alone. Yeah. You see what I mean? I would not want my current girlfriend anywhere near my old relationship. Of all the double dates you could have chose, this is the one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The energy changed that night, probably because the brother told the ex, yo, I'm on a double date with your ex. Yeah. She's here with a dude. He might have texted her during the date. Yeah.
Oh, you know he
something. Yeah. He said something, you know? He said something, but listen, I'll tell you where you messed up.
Go ahead.
You're in the car, driving there, and she tells you who you're going on the double date with. Yeah. I would have exited the freeway, turned around, and came right back to my. I would have never went on that date. Yeah. Are you crazy?
I knew it was no good, but it was too late. And at that point, I was trying so good to be like in her graces. I'm like, if you can make it past this, y'all are good. It was like the ultimate test, but it was also like an unwanted test, an unnecessary test. Like we didn't have to be put in that type of situation in order for us to move like to something good. And so I will say this: trust your intuition. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was overreacting. I thought I was tripping. And when you finally get that type of closure, when you see it in your face, it's like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Like that wasn't normal. I never would do that myself. It's crazy.
I myself never even heard of that. Like, if I'm going out with a girl and I'm cool with, say, her sister or her friends, I'm never going to go on a double date because, for one, I don't know what may come up. Like, what if they build some type of bond and be like, well, hey, you know what? They still talk or this happened in their relationship. I'm not going to give someone an opportunity to ruin what hasn't even got started yet. Yeah. So she went into it like,
it's low key disrespectful.
Like a gamble. She went into it like, what's the little TikTok move? That's what that move is from. That's that I don't give a. That's what that's for.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because this is something that I currently am kind of battling with myself. So when we stopped talking with each other, she had sent me a text. She said, hey, I'm not really feeling this. Now look, before that, I could already sense the distance being created between us because the way that night went after the double date, it crushed me so much in a way that, it really bothered me because I don't often give myself to any women, like as far as my heart and my potential, all my emotions and stuff. When I do that, it's a big deal. And when something goes wrong, you feel it. It's not like just some random chick. You're like, whatever, I'll call someone else. I had no one else. It was her. And so when I saw the way she handled the situation, I already started to say, Seth, this girl is going to destroy you. Like the way that she handled the fight, the way she dragged it out, the way she didn't even bother to call me in the morning, knowing I was up all night trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. I'm going through it. And she didn't even call me. I had to call her like 3, 4 in the afternoon. Like, what's up, woman? I've been up since 10 o'clock waiting for a text to come through. None of that, right?
The worst is when you're waiting on that text and someone else texts you.
Oh, yeah.
And you check your phone, you're like,
So after that, I said to myself, Seth, you're going to have to create some distance from this girl. That's the only way you guys will get along. You can't care as much. So I started to be okay with it, but I also created some distance. And then she hit me with a text and said, hey, I don't see this going anywhere. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm cool with that because I kind of felt mutually and I still liked you as a person. But my question to you guys is this. Has anything ever happened after that conversation of you guys splitting up that made you kind of really feel a little differently about her? Like when I saw the boyfriend come back into the picture, it made me feel a little insulted because I was like, I agreed to be your friend and be cool with you based off of us just not working out. Now that I know this was going on all along, I feel a little differently about you now. It changes shit. You know what I mean? Like now I know that was the reason why. I feel almost disrespected, whereas before it was just like it didn't work out situation. You know what I mean?
I think it's because you can actually put a face to why it didn't work out. Like when usually like when you break up with someone, you might have your reasons and you go your way and she goes hers, but she doesn't really know why you guys broke up. If she knew the reason why you guys broke up, it changes everything.
Exactly.
Like, people are okay with not knowing certain things. Unfortunately, you now had proof of
you chuck it up with it didn't work out.
But now you can't say it just didn't work out. You're like, it didn't work out because of this.
So that night I was going through it, and those times I was calling you, this is why. Because your heart was checked out because of somebody you told me you were done with. Not even in any type of contact with. So it's kind of like finding out that your girl like cheated on you or something while you guys were going through it after the fact. You're like, nah, I don't know if I can be cool with you now that I know that's what happened.
Well, I've had situations where I knew a girl who was in a recent breakup. And we started hanging out, and feelings started to come involved, and then she got distant. I knew automatically she got back with her ex. You got a window, right? It's a window of when small window when a girl's in a recent breakup to really wow her over the top to where she doesn't go back to the ex. Because 9 times out of 10, all it's gonna take is I miss you text, or I've been thinking about you on some future shit, some toxic shit, like damn, it's Valentine's Day, I can't believe we're not together. And she's gone, bro. So I think it happens to everybody, right? At a certain point in your life, you've probably gone through something where after the fact you find out like, damn, that's why we stopped. And then you, like you said, you build animosity for that person, like, and they're still trying to be cool with you, and you're kind of like, yo, like, I don't really fuck with you like that.
Now that I know, now that I got to see that dude's face on your gram talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just whatever. Like, at this point, I'm moved on. I'm very happy with the situation where I'm at, and I'm good with it. But
let me ask you this, Seth. What if it's someone that you have your eye on, and they've been in a relationship?
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And you're consistent.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, they're still together? You check every 3 months.
Okay.
Check, like, Did she take the pictures down yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, boom, one time you check, the pictures are down.
They're down. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, that's that window,
Yeah.
right? Do you pursue it then?
Or
do you say, you know what? This shit is too fresh. I know if I start to really like her, it's a possibility she's gonna get back with her ex. So now I'm gonna wait it out and see if it's really done or not.
Well, I think that I would start a conversation because you're not going to know the details of why they broke up until you start to talk to her. Maybe she checked out a long time ago, but she just couldn't get the dude out. Maybe they lived together, but he wouldn't leave. So there's a lot of, details that'll make it up. But if she was just like, yeah, we just broke up because something that I feel like they could get over like really quickly and get back together, then I wouldn't. But otherwise, yeah.
It also depends what your intent.
Just going in for the sex.
Yeah, you just want to expect. You just
Yeah.
What Drake say?
All I need is one
is
time.
It's fine with me.
Then
Yeah.
but you're playing a game of Russian roulette because you can go into it thinking, man, I just want to hit it one time and this and that.
But then you actually start to
Then
like
you start to like her.
Yeah.
Then that's when it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, this is a question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
We're talking about dating in LA, certain situations, what women expect, everything, right? Across the board. Fellas, if you saw a woman that you were interested in, she was interested in you, but she was levels above where you're at right now in your life, would you pursue that relationship?
It depends on how many levels above. I'm gonna be honest. Like if I was like
Multi-millions, owns her own home, travels, everything. Wants you to travel.
Yeah.
She wants a companion, right?
Yeah.
But she's very, very, locked in her life.
Yeah.
You're still on a path to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Are you going to be intimidated by her lifestyle to feel like you have to keep up with it?
Yeah.
So my question is, if you saw that ahead of time, would that be something you pursued, or would you feel like, nah, I don't really want to take that on right now?
So that's a great topic actually, because that is actually a real thing. Let's just say I'm walking down Rodeo Drive, right? And I see a woman step out of a Ferrari in a very expensive outfit, suit, glasses, big glasses, hair done like she just left the salon. That would be a more intimidating person to approach than a girl in that podcast. You see what I'm saying? Like that typical, just they left the club spot. Like, all right, I'm sure my lifestyle is better than theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does add a level of intimidation because you might think that, what is it I can really bring to them? I can bring them good personalities, maybe, some good intimacy and all that. But as far as everything else, she's already miles ahead of me. So I think it would depend on how we met. Would I approach her off the street after she got her Ferrari? Probably not. And I'm just being honest. But if I met her at a party, didn't really know what she did, we just had a good conversation, then I found out that that's what it was, at that point, I'm already in. It's like,
what if she
we
got
already
the
made the
massage
contact.
with you? I know you don't date the girl.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
but I
that,
get you,
right?
yeah,
but if it was a one-time thing,
Yeah.
and then she's like, yo, I want to see you in a more intimate.
Yeah, or just casual way outside of work. I mean, if, like I said, if I ever decide to write them off as a client, and that's just the direction I want to take with that, hey, okay. Basically, there was a reason for her to come into my life, right?
Right.
It's different in that point because it wasn't, I wouldn't be intimidated by the lifestyle, but I would probably be intimidated to just approach her if I seen them on the street. It's already awkward enough to approach somebody on the street, you know what I mean? Especially if you walking.
Yeah.
Like if I pulled up and
She getting out of a Prius and I'm walking, it's intimidating.
So, but again, I think once you get beyond the introduction part and it comes to the actual lifestyle, unlike that girl, I don't feel comfort in being catered for or given everything to. I need to feel like I can establish something on my own. So if it's going to be a situation where she's super successful and she's helping me get my stuff together and now I start to feel like I got my feet in the ground, sure. But I'm not sleeping at night in some big old lavish bed knowing that I did nothing to earn this lifestyle and this may not even be my girl or my wife. If it's my wife, this is our life at this point.
Right.
But if it's just a girl, I'm not about to start slowing down my hustle and getting comfortable and feeling like this is it. Like, heck no, this is not mine. I can't even sleep at night feeling like that, you know?
Yeah. What about you, man?
I mean, it also depends on the setting. So if I meet her on the humble and I don't know who she is, I definitely would pursue it because knowing if I find out who she is before she find out who I am, I'm gonna be super transparent because I don't want to waste her time or mine.
Yeah.
Because if a woman has, financially has a house, car, and all that stuff, she's only looking for something that you can't get, that she can't get on her own.
Yeah.
You know, so that's most likely a husband, kids. So I personally would pursue it, but I'm gonna be very transparent. Like, yo, this is where I'm at. I'm cool, but this is where I'm trying to get to. She might be the reason why you
get there.
You get there.
Yeah, but ultimately, you wouldn't be intimidated by her. You would embrace it. You'd welcome it
Absolutely, I would embrace it. And I would give her everything I got. You know, and I wouldn't treat her any more or less than someone that maybe got out of a Prius and dressed in some Gymshark outfit.
Because I know a lot of successful women, and you should never feel that's a great achievement. You know what I mean? Like it should be a bad thing if you're feeling like you can't date because you have achieved a certain level of success. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give it like this. I know girls that have more money than me, but I don't respect them or feel intimidated by them in the least because most of their money comes from OnlyFans and stripping and all that type of stuff. I'm like, at the end of the day, that's all I'm saying.
Me personally, I wouldn't be intimidated by no woman. It's about having confidence within yourself. Even if you don't have money, if you have a mind that you feel like, or a goal that you know you're going to get money, you should never be intimidated by anybody, man or woman.
I get that too.
That's my thing.
Well, that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be intimidated by those type of girls because I already know what I'm capable of. Okay, so let me clear this up because I'm not trying to give shade to people who do OnlyFans or strippers by any means. What I mean is I'm not intimidated by people who make fast money. That also applies to drug dealers, scammers, pimps, people that just do things to get money fast. I'm not intimidated by that because I could do any of that at any moment in my life if I wanted to. They don't have any extra skills or intelligence or education that got them to that level. They just chose to take the risk. If I wanted to risk my freedom or risk tarnishing my image, I could do that right now. So why would I be intimidated by that? You see what I'm saying? You just made the choice that I chose not to do. Now, if you were somebody like a woman who was running like 20 restaurants across the country, you were some kind of top entertainment lawyer, and you're doing things that I just couldn't at this point in my life be able to keep up with, that is much more impressive. That is a little bit more intimidating. Not because I think I'm less of a person than you, but I might wonder, can I stimulate you mentally enough through conversation if we're not able to talk about some of the things? If I don't know enough to feel like you can have a deep conversation with, that might be a little intimidating rather than someone who's just took the easier route and decided to go that way. Now, again, no shame to y'all if that's the route you chose because sometimes that can be a good alternative if you want to bypass getting a loan or having to bring in investors and give away your equity. Kudos to you if you have that mentality of taking this fast momentary money and putting it towards a bigger dream of yours. But if you think you just simply made it and hey, this is it, let me go ahead and splurge and buy cars and jewelry and stuff, I'm not about to be intimidated by that. Because at the end of the day, I know that eventually that type of money runs out or it expires. Growing up, I used to know a lot of people that had that fast drug money and they had all the hardest cars, the hardest motorcycles, and eventually they either got caught or they lost it or things happened, they got hurt. That wasn't something that I strived to have. I figured I'd rather just stay in school and just follow my path, okay? So that just doesn't intimidate me.
I think what's more intimidating, like I said, you should never let anybody intimidate you.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't want to, say especially a woman, but that's going to be like a partner.
Yeah.
But I think what's more intimidating is not so much the money, it's just the intelligence. Someone who can teach me something as opposed to buy me something, that's the one I probably, if I'm going to be more intimidated, I'd be more intimidated by the woman who can teach me something that I know nothing about. Let's go fly here and teach me something I've never even done. I'm gonna be like,
you show up to the restaurant, she's speaking Japanese.
Yeah. We sit down and she's oh, you don't know Japanese? I'm like, hey, look. Nah.
I have someone I talk to now, right? That I talk to as a friend, right?
Yeah.
Not someone that I'm talking to, but someone that I talk to consistently. Really good friend of mine, and I always tell her vocabulary and her communication is so on point.
Yeah.
It really. Like, besides the fact that she's very beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her communication and her wordplay and her vocabulary was so dope to me that she's the only person I've literally talked to for 2 hours and wasn't like, I'm talking on a, not even FaceTime, just a normal phone.
Yeah.
I talked to her for 2 hours and didn't even realize it was 2 hours.
Gotcha.
Because it was so, like, it's crazy. So, you know, to that point, I think, you know, not intimidation, but more of respect thing, right? You respect someone who brings something to the table that you can relate with, or and you're like, damn, shorty really got a brain on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel that.
I think it's like you're respecting what they're capable of and what they've done, that it makes you feel like you need to get yourself in a better place before you step to them.
Me personally, I'm attracted to intelligence.
Yeah.
Right. There's no shortage of beautiful women. Period. They're by the millions.
Yeah.
But someone who's intelligent, who, you know, I could talk to about world events, I could talk to about traveling, and it's not just Miami or Tulum, but, you know, places like Montana and there's or you know, Jackson Hole, places that most people wouldn't even think of going to, and they're talking about, you know, Martha's Vineyard and stuff like that, and the Hamptons and here and there. Like, I'm attracted to intelligence, and that's not, listen, if you're, you know, in college or something and you're a little brain science, that don't mean to DM me. Okay? I don't want just anyone. You still got to look a certain way. But I am, you know.
I got a 4.4. Can we date?
But I am attracted to intelligence, man. Intelligence, like someone who can really hold a great conversation besides just about rap music or what club they're going to. I really like that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So to recap, in this episode, we covered some of the many struggles of dating. Dating out of your league. Dating beyond your means. What that means to you when it's all over. I think between all of us, we covered pretty much all the scenarios in which it would be okay or not be okay. But I want you all to comment below and let us know who you agree with when it comes to that situation with that girl on the podcast. Next, we covered some of the struggles of double dating. Should they be done early on? Do you agree with them? You know my thoughts. You saw my pain. I'm a firm believer in taking the time to get to know the person solo before you bring them around the challenges of other people and other energies, because you want to make sure you've established something first between the two of you all, and then bring other people in. And lastly, we circled back around and we spoke about dating women who may be out of your league. Is there an intimidation factor? Are there some things that you may need to get yourself together with before you can feel confident approaching them? Or are you the type of guy that's just like, hey, this is who I am, I'm gonna talk to anybody, I'm just as good as anybody else? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Let's go. All right, y'all, so that's it for Furey Talks. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Chris, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
My pleasure.
Aaron, my man. One at a time. Chris, tell them how they can find you, brother.
Instagram, Saint Driptoper, SAINT Driptoper.
Dope. Lee 23, LEE 23 AM.
All right, so please make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you share this video with as many people as possible so as many people can get this message and we can all learn together. Thank you as always. Till next time, Furey Talks. Peace.